streaming. Let's go ahead and see if that connects to YouTube. All right, looks like we are connected. Cool. I'll start recording as well as... Actually, I don't really need to record this because YouTube's going to record it anyway. All right, so we have our isometric scene kind of set up so far. So another thing we could do is if we want to just go ahead and make this 1920 by 1920, we could, just to get that nice square, that square outline for a camera. So we have nice square dimensions now. And then what we could probably do is we could even just zoom our camera in just a little bit more. Something like that. So now we can like pretty much do whatever we want. Now that we have the actual isometric scene set up, we can do anything we like. Copy these camera settings on the right if you want to get this perfect, because this is the perfect angle for doing this. So for whoever said please stream on YouTube, I am streaming on there right now. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and check that out. I also don't think, I'm not even sure if anyone is currently watching. It doesn't look like they are, but that's totally okay. We're going to go ahead and add an HDRI in here. Let's go ahead and add in a HDRI. Let's just do, I'm just going to do like an indoor scene for now. Maybe something like this. That's good. Now we have some lighting. I'm going to add in a floor plane, scale that up, and I'm going to move it right below our cube here. Okay, everything's good. And then what I'm probably going to do is just give that like a nice metallic shader just for the floor. High metallic, kind of like a lower roughness, maybe like a little bit darker. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to just go ahead and save this to my downloads as... I'll just say isometric fluid sim. So I think what we're going to do is just make a little fluid simulation here, just kind of keep things simple, but I do think this is going to look really, really cool. So I'm super excited about this. Anything you do in an isometric view is automatically just going to be awesome, in my opinion. So what we're probably going to do is first just get like a general simulation setup. So I'm going to click on the cube here. I'm going to go to Object, Quick Effects, Quick Liquid. And already you can see that we're in wireframe mode and we have our simulation already, but I'm going to kind of design this however I want to. So right now I know that the floor plane is right here. So I actually want to move my domain and my fluid up like that. I want to add a default cube back in here, and I'll explain why that's going to be in here in a second. But I'm going to go to my domain. I'm going to mess around with the settings a little bit. I'm actually going to click on all for the type, and I'm going to do, we're just going to do up to frame 100 for right now. I'm also going to change my output settings so that it's just up to 100. And then what we're going to do is go back to our fluid. Pretty much good to bake. Let me save that. All right, let's go ahead and bake this. It shouldn't take very long to bake at all. And as you can see, we have our fluid sim working just so it looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete this. I'm going to make this cube right here our domain. So I'm going to make it a fluid domain. And then I'm going to shrink this, which is going to be our fluid object. I'm going to bring it inside of the new domain. And this is just so you guys understand like kind of how to set this up. And then I'm going to go over to all again, and I'm going to click on bake all. Just make sure this is working. Oh shoot, I went all the way to frame 250, but that's fine. Alright, so as you can see, our new domain is working great. We have the fluid simulation working just fine. And now this is where we get to like kind of have some fun with it and decide like what it is that we want to do with this fluid simulation. It's 3-5 night in India, and I am learning here. No, that's awesome. That's kind of exciting because it means you're really passionate about it if you're learning right now. So very, very exciting. All right, so what I want to do is, YouTube's giving me problems here. What's going on here? We have 2 viewers. Oh, that's nice. All right, so fluid simulation looks fine, guys. It is playing properly, and then what we can probably do is just go ahead and convert this to mesh if we want to, or we can kind of think about like what we want to do with this, because this, from like just an outside perspective right now, is just going to look like this cube because the fluid simulation is right here. It's not converted to a mesh yet. So what I think I'm going to do is go back to solid view, and I'm actually going to apply a modifier to this. I'm going to apply, make sure I have the right one selected here. All right, so there should be 2 cubes. Did I not add another cube? All right, I'll add 1 more cube, and this cube will be our like our container here. So I'm going to give this a, I'm just going to give this a pink color just so I can properly see it. Scaled up just a little bit so now we can see like what's happening here. I'm going to add a solidify modifier to this, and then I'm going to go to our materials, and I'm actually going to change this to a glass BSDF. I'm going to make it just slightly blue so I can kind of see what's happening if my modifier is being applied correctly. Let's just move it over here for a second. Are we on GPU, guys? Yeah, we are. Huh, it's going really slow. Turn that roughness down, and let's go back to our thickness setting and thicken that up just a little bit. So now basically what we just did is we made the edges of this thick. So it's kind of like this border that we have around our fluid simulation, if that makes sense to you guys. So now that we have that set up, I'm going to move it back into place on the x-axis. I'm going to go press 0, and then I'm going to go back to wireframe mode. I'm going to click on our fluid domain, which is this cube right here. I'm going to free all, click on mesh, and then I'm going to go to frame 100. And I'm going to click on bake all, and this shouldn't take much time at all. And then go ahead and give that a second there. Okay, so it looks like everything is properly working. We have our little fluid simulation. Let's go ahead and check out, see what that looks like. I want to go ahead and make this have 0 color. IOR, we can just do 1.2 for now, keep it simple, or maybe 2. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. Huh. Actually looks kind of cool. Maybe we can go with something, maybe we can get rid of the solidify modifier and just kind of see what this looks like. So you never really know until you just start messing with it. All right, let's go to our material for the domain, which I believe this is domain. And we're just going to give it like a nice blue glass material, as I always like to do with all of our fluids because it's just a lot of fun. And then I'm going to lower it. Actually, roughness looks kind of cool. I don't know. And we're going to hide that initial cube right there. Where is it? This is like originally our fluid. So now if we go ahead and play this back, as you can see, it's very slow. And that's because we have a lot going on here with our like a lot of glass materials. I'm going to turn down the volume to 0. This is going to look really cool though, guys. I'm very excited about this. And this is like pretty, more or less like pretty easy to do. I'm also going to give this just a little bevel. Let's give this a little bevel here. 5 segments will do it. Auto smooth. Shade smooth. And I'm going to lower the bevel just a little bit. Maybe like that. That looks pretty good. Oh, I also have to shade the actual fluid smooth as well. So now if you see, if we zoom in, the fluid is nice and smooth within our box here. I just want to see one more thing. It looks like the actual fluid simulation itself is not, oops, the actual floor needs to be a little bit lower. Cool. And then this looks pretty good. Just want to make sure that it's not actually touching anything. I think we're good here, guys. I think we're ready to like render soon. Like I said, this is like super simple. It starts out as just a little blue piece, and then you drop it, and it kind of just goes all over the place. It's pretty cool. Excuse me. All right. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. We can also keep messing with the IOR. Like this would be an IOR of 2, but I just don't think that looks very good. And this would be 1.1, which is like, I don't even really know why you would use that. You could do like 1.15, you know what I mean, or 1.12 maybe. Does look pretty cool though. Very fun. Here's what we could do. We could cut the top of the cube off and have like an opening. I think I did that on my last one, but I just don't remember. This is kind of like where you have to get with your creative freedom here. The actual fluid simulation itself isn't that hard to do. The hard part is kind of deciding like how you want to artistically represent that. And it looks really cool when it drops in there. I almost want to do a, let's see like what a wireframe modifier would look like. Wireframe, you're not really going to see anything. You're just going to see the fluid. You probably put the wireframe before that. Does look pretty cool though, I won't lie. You have the fluid, it goes boom. And I think this HDRI is very fitting for this scene too. And it's playing at about 24 frames a second, which is awesome. Should we do multiple objects? I want to show you guys what that would look like and how you would go about doing that. So let's say you did want to have multiple objects. So go ahead and click on your domain, which is this one. Let me also just label this. Sorry guys, something to get in the habit of, label your stuff so you actually don't get mixed up like I do. And this is fluid object 1. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go back to my domain. I'm actually going to free all, and then I'm going to click on my wireframe view, go to my side view. Now this is the first fluid object. I'm going to actually duplicate it and put it over here. So now we're going to have 2 fluid objects falling when we go to bake our simulation. So let's go ahead to our domain, and let's go ahead and bake all. This is going to be really interesting because it's going to convert everything to mesh, and then it's actually going to play back our simulation. Whoa, look how cool that was. Does everybody see that? Here, hold up. Let me get a close-up view for you guys so you guys can see that again. So when they hit, see how they collide in the middle? That was freaking awesome. All right, let's take it one step further. Let's free all, go to our top view. Let's select our fluid objects, move them, snap them, and duplicate them. So now we have 4 fluid objects right here. And now let's go ahead and bake our simulation. It'll take a little bit longer this time because there's more objects, but this is gonna look really, really cool. I'm super excited to see this. All right, ready? Wow, that was awesome. Anybody else see that? I just thought that was so cool. All right, let's go ahead and look in rendered view, see what it looks like. Also, you do have to hide the original fluid objects so you don't see those squares. That is cool. What do you guys think of that? What does it say? How are things? Things are good. Thank you. Just animating, having fun. The liquid simulations are probably like one of my favorite to do. I just think they're so much fun to look at, and you never know like what you're gonna get with these. And they're decently realistic. All right, what if we took it one more step further, guys, and we actually went ahead and added like a little sphere or something down below? Let's add in, how about we add in a cone? All right, so let's add in a cone. Let's scale it down, move it to the bottom. All right, so we have our cone, shade it smooth. I'm just gonna give it the same material as the floor for now. And then what I'm gonna do is probably make it a fluid effector. Object apply, scale. Let's just see where we get with just that, because the reason I say that is because sometimes you go ahead and you bake these simulations, things don't always work out exactly how they should. So let's see what we get with this. Let's see if the fluid effector is working. Kind of hard to tell. Let me go to wireframe mode. Okay, it looks like it is affecting our simulation. Yeah, it is, but it's dangerously close to the cone. Here, let's go ahead and play it in material preview. It's going through the cone a little bit, so maybe we can adjust the cone settings here. Surface thickness, I'll give it 0.001. Let's go ahead and try that, and let's go ahead and rebake our simulation here. Free all, bake all. It's just going to run through the first 100 frames again, and let's go ahead and see what this looks like now. I think it's working pretty well. I almost want to like really inspect these first couple frames here. That looks pretty good. And you can just keep adjusting these settings to your liking. See, it kind of cuts through it's cutting through the cone here, which I don't want, so might have to just keep messing with the resolution too. All right, let's go ahead and also give our cone a modifier. I'm going to give this a bevel modifier. I'm going to also give it an edge split, and then subdivision surface. 2. Or no, not, or, wait, hold on a second. Let's just give it a bevel. Just slight bevel. Let's auto smooth that as well. That looks pretty good. It's really sharp. Like, it's really sharp at the top there. That looks good, though. It does look good. All right, should we bump up the resolution of our simulation here? It's going to take a second to actually go ahead and work. Let's go ahead. Right now, guys, it is at 32. Let's bump it up to 80. Let's go back to our solid view, bake, and I'll check the comments if there are any. It's going to take a quick second. Sorry, guys, if I missed your comments. Let me go ahead and check these out. Super cool. Thank you. Can you make a tutorial about fluid particle with gradient mixing? Oh, like multiple objects mixing together, like different colors, you're saying? I've never done that before. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why I couldn't. I just haven't before, but why not? I'll put it on my list. I'd have to probably do some research to see, like, how to actually go about doing that. I'm going to end my YouTube stream because it doesn't look like anybody is currently watching. Right. Views 9. I think that means overall. We're on frame 32, guys, so we're getting there with our simulation. Apologize for the delay. These things take time, like when you're rendering all these. Yeah, I'm pretty